What's up, guys? Welcome back to another 1-0 podcast. And as you can see, we're joined by a very special guest, Danielle Weber. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming to my homely studio.
It's a bit surreal. I was saying it before, a bit surreal. I've been following you for years, obviously. Now we're in the room seeing all these artworks. I've got the tiger's eyes staring right at me.
Yeah, literally.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we might as well touch on it before, what we were talking about before. How did you kind of get into art?
So it was something that I started as a kid. You can hear my loud family in the background. Do you want me to? Yeah. As we're at home. So started as a kid. I was always painting. I was always drawing. And I guess not growing up with a lot of technology, it's different nowadays. It was sort of something I always resorted to. If I wasn't painting or drawing, I was playing with Play-Doh. And I guess as I got older, I did it, I painted and sort of moved to watercolors and then picked it up at school. And then when I finished, when I was like coming up to finishing school, my parents were like, what are you going to do? And I was like, health sciences. Because I was sort of told that, being an artist wouldn't be any jobs sort of thing. You don't want to be a starving artist. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's just do health then. To be honest with you, I didn't really want to go to university, but I guess you sort of get to the end of school and you're like, well, what else am I going to do then? So it's just
was art always like the main? Were you always good at art?
I was always good at it, but I think like sport was probably my main focus for many years. Yeah. So it was sort of like that battle between like sport and art, and it was like I always thought that sport would be more of a part of my life, and hence why I sort of went into health sciences / food / nutrition would be a good pathway to take, but. Yeah, it's because I guess I didn't really think that anything of my art. I was like, everyone can paint, like everyone can draw. We all did art school at school, and I was like, I just probably enjoy it a little bit more than other people. Yeah. And obviously, my family saw something in me, thank God, because otherwise I wouldn't be an artist. So they pushed me to pursue it, and here I am now, like sort of 10 years down the track.
So we'll touch on the likes of people. I saw Mitchell Orville and Chloe. I saw a couple of weeks ago, gave them a painting. Yeah. We'll touch on that a little bit down later.
Yeah.
Do you remember making your first or selling your first artwork?
Yeah. So like I wouldn't say the first commission. Well, I actually only really charged people for materials back when I first started. Yeah. So it was like, here's your painting and $37 for the canvas and for the paint. Yeah. Like not even, it was probably just a canvas. Yeah. So, and then I guess because I felt bad at the start, like you're not amazing, like anything really. You're like, I'm a hack at the moment. Like I don't really want to charge people for this. But even still, when I look back at those pieces, I'm like, whoa, they were pretty good, considering. So yeah, so I guess as I went along, I sort of, started charging like $100, $150, $200, and then as I got busier and busier, I could start charging a little bit more. And
so did you just start off just making one and selling that one, and has it progressed to more clients asking you?
Yeah, well, I guess even when I first started, I guess there was that insecurity of like not having an income. So I was working other jobs, and then I guess I was just being asked to do paintings, and I was sort of like making them to order because I was too scared to just like produce all these pieces and just hope that someone would buy them. Yeah. So I sort of still work off that now, but I'm more so with murals and I try to do pieces in my studio that I enjoy more. Yeah.
So I mean, for those, art is a thing where unless you're really, really good at it, a lot of people could think that it could definitely unique. It's definitely suggestive, like with your taste. Yeah. Just kind of stepping into that process. So a lot of your works are murals, so bigger stuff.
Scale,
got a few behind us.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are these ones just for someone? I don't know if you can say. For someone, or is it just a piece?
Yeah, so they're for a client. It's interesting because they actually purchased this back in 2018, and then they felt that she needed a male friend. So we've done it. We're working on a male native, and sort of just they're going to hang next to each other on the wall. Yeah. So it's I don't really take on commission canvases anymore, but because they were a previous client and then I knew went to school with them, et cetera, I'll still do pieces for like people I know and whatnot.
So what's kind of like the process of that? Do you start, I know technology now, do you you can do on the iPads and all that? How do you kind of go around those?
Yeah, so back in the day I just used to like sketch everything and hope that my client understands my gibberish on paper. But now, it's more so digital. I was a little bit skeptical about moving to digital because you sort of lose, like I used to just sketch for hours and you don't do that as much, I feel. But I just like, say for example, I took a photo of that one and then drafted that one up next to it, and then added some color and changed a few things around, and then at least they can sort of envisage as a client what they're going to get, instead of just like hoping for the best, I guess.
So someone like this, one like this, how long did that take?
I think probably about like 30 or 40 hours maybe. So it's weird because my canvases take me longer than what my murals do.
Is that because it's more?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't quite work it out. It really it drives me nuts because I'm just like, these take me so long, and yet I'll have like this massive mural, and then I'll knock out like 20 meters in 2 weeks, whereas if I work on this for months. So
do you go for longer? Do you just smash them out?
Yeah. So I work longer days when I'm on murals because it's more of like a mental battle to get through them.
So on the mural, I remember seeing the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. His new movie.
The Terminator one, yeah.
The Terminator one.
Yeah.
Now that one was on a crane and everything lifted up. How long? What was kind of the process of that? Because it must have been tough. I'm assuming you were harnessed and all that.
Well, so that legally in Victoria you don't have to be harnessed in. So I actually wasn't in that one. On boom lists, there's different regulations for different lifts, I guess. But that one, no. But I was a little bit scared because I was at the top of. It's called a swing stage, and I was at the top of it's like a 10 or 11 story building, and I'm quite little, so I sort of was like kneeling down one day and sort of like fell forward, and I was like, oh my god, if I like nose dive through that, I would have been outside. So I think generally speaking, a lot of male window cleaners and people use those swing stages. They probably don't account for like a childlike body. Because I took my harness with me, and he's like, no, you don't need it, and I was like, huh? Like I can like fall out of these things, but you get used to it.
So for that one, was that like how did you get approached to do that?
So that one was through Disney. Wait, I don't really get that right. I think so.
I haven't seen Terminator, to be honest. So.
Yeah.
Someone will know. I don't know.
Oh God, I might have stuffed that up.
I'm trying to think.
And then there's always big murals like that. There's always a fair few people in between, and then there's my management, and then there's me. So there's a lot of parties involved. But it's cool. It can make my life easier, but I guess it's sometimes harder too because you're dealing with so many people.
Quite high up people too, issue.
Yeah.
Now you've actually met Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
So, right. How did that kind of? You were over. You met him there. Over there.
So I met him here when he was at the Arnold Sports Festival last year, and he saw a piece. I think he would have recognised that I converted a black and white photo to a coloured piece. So it's quite hard to do, but if you it was live as well. And then he asked me to complete a piece for his charity auction, and then in which I went over to his house and went to a party there.
So you went to his house?
Yes.
Big house? There's a big guy, so he has to have a big house.
It is big, but I don't think it's kind of like old school ranchy kind of style. So
actually now you say it, you can see it.
You know when you see like the big Hollywood homes and they're like, the infinity pools and massive modern homes. It's not like that. The way it's built inside, it's so nice. It's like lots of wood and So
was he someone that you kind of look up to?
It is massive though. I shouldn't have probably 20 times the size of here. Yeah, sorry, what was that?
So is he someone who you looked up to? Were you nervous at all? Were you?
First time I met him, not so much. I wasn't nervous. It's not that I didn't look up to him, but I guess that I'm always sort of like in my own lane, so I don't really think about these things until they happen. Whereas when we went to his house, I had a little bit more time to think about it, and it's like all of your senses just go out the window. It was really embarrassing. Like me and my boyfriend's like the most chilled out person, but we were both just like couldn't process anything the days leading up to it, and we were really nervous. So
is he a nice guy? Please, he's a nice
Arnold.
Guy.
He is. Yeah, he's lovely. He is very I love it because he's like a bit old school, but still has a sense of humor. But you got to respect your elders back then. So like it's something that you got to, So whereas The Rock, like you probably have a little bit more of a joke around with, but I'd be a little bit more careful with.
I feel like there's big respect to you too, because you feel like Arnold would be that kind of guy who wouldn't just let any random person in.
No, nah. So you do, and that's the thing. Like, he expects that, which is totally, like he's achieved so much, and he's got a lot to protect too. So, but he's just like, when you do speak to him, he's just full of wisdom. So I'm in awe of him. Yeah. You
mentioned The Rock. A lot of the boys were there now watching will probably be laughing because I know how big of a bit of a fanboy I am of him. How did that one go down? Because it's Dwayne Johnson. I mean, we still call him The Rock. He's actually got a name. So how did that one?
It's so funny. And you know what? I feel bad because a lot of diehard wrestling fans who genuinely followed him from day one, would kill to meet him. And I feel like I cheated. Like I strolled in like years later. I was never a diehard fan. I didn't even know that he wrestled. Like, he's going to turn off. He's going to walk out.
That's enough.
But in saying that, I knew who he was, and I knew that he'd had like a massive history and what he'd achieved, etc., etc. So I did a painting for a client, and basically he saw that on social media. One thing led to another. I was going to America anyway, so I did a painting to basically say thank you to him for stopping and messaging me, and
that was the one with his mum,
yeah.
So did he see?
Yeah, that was the one to say thank you. He saw a different one to that though.
The gym one with the quote.
No, that was round 2. That was 4 years later. So I'd met him.
That was 4 years later.
So it's been like 6 years. No, coming up to 5 years.
Jeez.
Oh, like soon, 5 years ago that I met him. So.
Anniversary party.
Yeah, I reckon. He did send me a voice message a few months ago and said that, like, I look forward to seeing you in 2020. And then, like, this whole coronavirus thing happened. I was like, don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, how has that kind of affected? I mean, because I guess we're at your house now and a bunch of canvases around here. Has COVID affected much of this, of your work?
Yeah, I think at the start I was very worried, I think, as everyone was, and a lot of my bigger jobs got cancelled / pushed back. I think everyone just freaked out and put life on hold. Yeah. As you've seen firsthand. It's pretty interesting. But I don't know, I sort of threw me into a mindset there. I was like, you know what, I'm going to fix my website, I'm going to push my prints and push other aspects of my business that I hadn't had time to do. So I did that, and then took on a few more canvases, and now I've got like 9 lined up because I said yes to all these people, because I'm like, I'm not going to be busy.
So did it slow you down at all, or did you end up doing more work?
If anything, now I'm like busier because I thought, what, everyone's taking a pay cut, so I'll drop my prices, and I did that, and then I was just now I'm really busy, and I'm going to keep up with everything. So I think it's been, I think we haven't seen the worst of this yet. I think that the end of the year / in the next 2 years, you're really going to tell. I don't know if murals are going to be a priority / people will have money to pay for them.
I was going to say, I'd assume there are high cost to get you and paint a massive one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what you want, but and sometimes if I'm doing personal homes and whatnot, it's a bit different for me. They're sort of like my passion pieces, so different costs for them too. But it's just, I think it's hard, like, watching what other people are going through as well. So you like try not to, like, so, and especially with like this year's been pretty crazy with the whole all the protesting and everything as well. So I think some people who aren't in the best of situations, like, I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, I'm just still going at full steam ahead.
Yeah. I feel like art, though, is that sort of thing where, I know especially do it because I do art at school. I think art is that thing where you can just don't think about anything when you do it. Maybe for you because it's a bit more, do you still consider it more, is it more of a job now? Or are you still the same?
The amount of work that I have, the workload gets to me sometimes, and then I see it as a job because I'm like, what, you saw my to-do list, like, I'm like, this is this. So I have to treat it like a job, because if I didn't, then I'd be going on that airy-fairy like art, like artists are generally known to be like, I'll just paint when I want to, and I'll paint this when So I have to like instill that discipline, otherwise I wouldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
But in saying that, yes, I can still put my headphones in and switch off from the world and from what's going on. I've just been trying to like not get caught up in it and more so be like, hey, I'm moving on with my life and producing art that will make you happy, and I'm not going to sit here and like not paint because the rest of the world have stopped to protest sort of thing. Like if I can sort of keep going and being like, this makes you happy, you know, like it's
what I was going to say before, like art is that kind of thing which does make people happy.
Exactly.
So if you see like, I don't know, I said there's a Michael Jordan one down here. Obviously that's quite in the theme with the Netflix documentary that came out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think people...
Which I think has been good for people in this time too, to like kill time and watch things that actually inspire them.
So did you watch anything?
I've watched, I said this, I'm still stuck on the 3rd episode because I haven't had time to watch. Yeah. So I've literally, I don't watch TV and I rarely get time to watch Netflix. So I've just, if I can dedicate like maybe like 20 minutes a day to it, but like even last night I was like, oh, maybe I'm like, nah, I've got a quote to do. So I was like sitting in bed and I was like falling asleep, so I didn't even get a chance to watch it. It has been on my mind though. Have you watched it all?
The Michael Jordan one I have, but like I'm not gonna say I don't have time, but I can't really sit and watch
back to back.
Whereas my mum, different stories, probably watching it.
Kudos to them.
My mum finished Prison Break, all of Prison Break, which was like
how many
7-8 seasons. Like
in how long?
20 something episodes, an hour long.
That's impressive.
I would go and say 2 weeks.
I'm so impressed. That's a good effort.
It's not good though.
I just get really agitated. I can't sit for that long.
The only one was Money Heist on Netflix. That's a good one to watch.
My parents have been watching that.
Yeah, that's one where I started it.
What have I watched all of?
Sorry. Oh, you're thinking.
I'm thinking. Like, what? I've literally not finished anything. I don't think. There was something called American something, but I don't think they have it. It was when we were over in America. We watched it, and I don't think they have it on Australian Netflix.
Yeah.
So we watched all of that, but I think that was only like 3 seasons or something.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I watched what's it called? Oh, I can't even think. See, I can't even think of it. Yeah. What's it? There's the one that's like the terrorist one that. Anyways, write that one off. Anyways, I can't even tell you that I finished a season of anything. Yeah. That's so bad.
Yeah, I know, like everyone tells you like this.
Like I've seen this, I've seen that, that. I'm like, how do you have time to watch all this? Like I can't even finish one episode, let alone a season. I don't
know how you got to Netflix.
Yeah,
but that was cool.
Yeah, no, Jordan.
Jordan. That's what. So, I guess we'll kind of lead to that. Social media is so important now. I mean, that's how I grew to. I told you before, my cousin told me about you years ago. I'm just following on social media, and it kind of feels like we already. It kind of brings, I think, people like you, closer to get in a way.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I already know you. Before I met you.
Yeah. It's super relaxed.
How much is that? How helpful has social media been for your artworks? Like we'll say Instagram and all that.
Yeah, I'd say. I reckon 80% of my business relies on social media. Yeah. It's crazy.
So you said the Rock saw your work on Instagram.
Yeah. I think word of mouth in Melbourne is a really powerful tool as well. And I think, the more, and that's why I always say, when there's a job or an opportunity or, even having a chat with you, I always say like treat every opportunity the same because like I think it's so cool to connect with like lots of different people, different ages, different walks of life. And and I do think like Melbourne's really good for word of mouth. Like it is a big city, but it's a small world sort of thing. So like it's good to, and a lot of my like, I guess more personal jobs or like really cool jobs or people that I've met and like would be like, I'll be friends with them for life have been through like word of mouth. Yeah. Whereas social media is like a little bit more, can be a little bit more mainstream, bigger clients, but connects you to more opportunities, I guess. So
last couple of ones, is it? I mean, like I know if I don't want to say it. I do an artwork at school, which doesn't compare to anything.
I want to see it now. You have to send it to me. Nah. I'm gonna make sure you send that to me. I'm gonna email you.
Shouldn't say that.
Send you an email every day now.
My parents used to leave him to go to the toilet outside. They used to just leave him in the garage. Leave him in there. Nah, just because they didn't look good.
Aww.
Whereas now they're actually.
I was like, what, to paint or?
Whereas now they're they're okay, and even I like don't want to get rid of them.
What style painting? You have to tell me. We're sitting in a studio full of art, and there's all different styles. So
recompete. I don't know, whatever I want. I don't want like the spray painting stuff. There's an
cool.
artist, Jason Skeldon.
We'll go have a jam and like spray paint jam outside. Man.
I shouldn't have said any of this.
You can probably teach me a thing or two. I reckon.
My teacher hates my stuff.
Sorry, keep going. I'm interrupting you now.
So like, is it tough letting go of some of your ones that obviously would have taken ages? Is it tough letting go of them?
Of work? Yeah. Look, at the start, I was like emotionally attached to all pieces, I think, because I spent so long in front of them. Whereas now I can sort of pump them out a little bit quicker and like, okay, get rid of that one before I don't want to give it away. Yeah. So like even like that Jordan one I kept, that's an original, but I haven't sold it. And I haven't really pushed the case that it's like available for sale. Yeah. And I was like, I want to keep it for a bit. And now I'm like, I'm over that. Like we can move it on now. So I've sort of like detached myself a little bit, and I've had to become like that because murals are so like it's the nature of the beast. Like a big piece that I did before Christmas, and it was like hard job. Yeah, it was like 100 meters of wall got painted over. Shit. So yeah, you got to let it go. I guess it's just especially once you start moving into art on external walls and whatnot, they're going to get painted over. They don't have a life.
So you mentioned style before. What would you change it? I think from what I saw, like the one you did for Mitchell and Chloe, was a bit more spray painting, a bit more. Are you good at like? Do you want to venture out into different styles, or are you just happy with what you're doing? I mean, it's not like you have to because if it's not.
So you mentioned something before that like my teacher doesn't like my style. Yeah. This is no, it's good. I think it's good. It opens up and this applies to all work fields as well. I feel like people get stuck in, a mindset that they're like, I have to develop my own style and run with that. And, this is my work style. I have to keep, people like that one style. Yeah. I get that you have an audience and, my audience get used to me painting realism. So when I upload, we've got an abstract in front of us as well, the response might not be as good because they're like, it's just like, when you go to the shops and someone's changed where they put something and you're not happy about it. Like it's similar to that. And I totally get that. But I think that's the problem with art and traditional, like old school art. My teacher said, you're going to develop your own style and da-da-da-da. And I'm just sort of like, but why? Like, who tells me that I need to stick to one style? And who, there's pieces that I do that 10 people might not like and 20 people love, or one person doesn't like it. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's, I truly believe that keeping, and I mentioned it the other day on Instagram, if you have one style, you're pretty much one-dimensional. Yeah. So not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying like, me, I can do abstract, I can paint cars, I can paint landscapes, I can paint faces, I can paint street, like, that piece that I did for Mitchell and Chloe. I was like, that was through when we went into lockdown. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do some fun pieces. I just had these ideas. Yeah, because that one was quite, like, it was quite different to like the ones that you got here. Yeah. It was quite different, But it was fun. I didn't think about it. I wasn't doing it like for them. I gave that piece to Mitch to say thank you because he'd helped me out, and both him and Chloe are legends. So, like I know I wasn't. It wasn't for anyone. I wasn't being directed in a certain way, and I just thought it was so fun. And everyone was a bit like, "Whoa!" Like I didn't know you could do that style. And for me, it's easier than painting a face. Yeah. But it was also quite hard because like it was like a style that you couldn't perfect and like couldn't do the eyelashes and the shading and whatnot. It was quite blocky. So, but then it's cool because that led me to doing a piece for Curios, like his brother organised a piece for his birthday for him. And if you didn't do those styles, then how do people know that you can actually, like generally, like when you're buying a product, you're not going to go to, I don't know, buy a vacuum cleaner from a shoe store, like it. You know what I'm saying? So, whereas people go on your page and they see everything, they're like, "Oh, maybe she can do that."
Yeah, I think it's also because like you got, we said the Michael Jordan, you've got the athletes, you've got like the biggest ones that you did ages ago. Yeah. So there is a big.
Yeah, it's very versatile, and I think then it leads you like I've just collaborated with Belroy and Miller's Genuine Draft. Like that's beer and like a retail company and a designer from America.
Yeah.
And I painted a bag. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just, and I had free reign of what I wanted to paint on there. So it's so cool. Like, it just opens the door up a bit wider. Not saying there's anything wrong with having one style, but it definitely gives you a little bit more leeway.
I think it's the case for a lot of things too. I think, well, not to compare, but like kind of what we've got here. Yeah. Where it started off soccer, but then things meant, you have to change stuff around. Yeah,
and who's to say, and that's what I'm saying. It applies to all jobs, all fields, like, and if you can sort of educate yourself in, like, you were saying you love sport, but you might do business, but then you didn't even think about doing media. Like, who's telling you that you can't do all of them and time into one? Like or like go down all pathways. You'll juggle it. You'll make it happen. Like, so it's good.
Honestly, cool. Well, you said we'll wrap it up soon.
That's right. I'm in no hurry. I'm all yours. What's the time? Yeah.
2:42.
Plenty of time.
It's the hardest piece of the painting. Hardest thing to paint. That's what I was looking for.
Hardest thing to paint.
So I'm going to, as an outsider, I'm going to say I feel like tattoos would be hard. Like, there's that artwork where, like, one's covering his eyes. I feel that.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah, that one.
That was insane. Well, I guess, like, anyone who has tattoos knows how long it is. Like, you go get a piece and you'll sit for like 10 hours or whatever. That's essentially how long a painting takes, like, to do the tattoos. And they're so hard to communicate in a realism piece. I actually did like a little video a few months ago, and so many artists messaged me and like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I've never known how to paint tattoos, because a lot of paintings I look at, they've like got like these sharp lines. I'm like, no, like, they don't look real. Yeah. So there's a lot of they're hard. I don't know. I guess I sort of figured out how to do them, and I guess throwing yourself into a piece like that, where they're literally covered in tattoos from heads to the bottom of their tip of their fingers, that sort of made me learn pretty quickly. But I struggle with hands.
Well, it's like the Michael Jordan one there.
Yeah, he's like sausage fingers on him. See, that's not super, super realism. So it's like, okay, even like if you look at Drake and Jay-Z over there, like, their hands are quite rough. So I do paint rough style as well. So that's a different style. So when I need to paint like super realistic, like, I'd say her hand's pretty realistic there.
So what is it about the fingers? Is it like shaping the...
You can't paint them how they look in a photo.
Yeah, true.
That's the hard part, because like if you do that line too harsh, like, you looks like you've got like a bung finger.
Too skinny that it's awkward, or too big where it's sausage.
Yeah. So you need to really learn how to like use light and shade, and so that's black and white hard enough, and then you got to move to color, so it's another ball game.
Now, you mentioned you painted on the bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing shoes? Painting on shoes?
Check out behind you. You're probably about to see them.
Was that Tupac on the volleys?
Yeah.
I haven't seen volleys in years.
Yeah.
So you are painting on shoes?
Yeah. So I don't think I'll do it as like a regular thing, but they're for me. So everyone's just like, what? And I'm like, nah, they're mine. You're not going to get them. So.
Is he on the other shoe too? Tupac on both?
Biggie. Do you want me to get him?
That's close. Oh, if you can.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. So we got Biggie. I'll show the camera. We got Biggie on that side. Look, I haven't worn them, so they're clean. And then Tupac on that side.
So were these ones? They look pretty hard to paint.
They were so hard, so hard. I had like this tiny little brush, and you can only really like dab. Like, you think of murals, you can use your whole arm. Whereas these ones, I just took not forever. I did them pretty quick, but I was like, But and I had so many people. Like, even Nick Natanui, he messaged me. He's like, oh my God, who are they from? I'm like, they're mine.
Nick Natanui's not fitting in those.
No, I don't think so. It's funny.
So, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen those before.
Yeah. I hadn't posted them because I think, and that's the thing, I go to style, people will be like, oh, she does that now. Do you know what I'm saying? So I haven't, and
Yeah, so there'll definitely be people looking for those.
100%, yeah. And I feel like you can't really put a value to it because they're so small. Like, you probably can't get paid for for all the hours that you put in. Yeah. So, but...
Anything else we'll touch on?
I don't know if you have any other questions.
Which dream person to paint for?
Dream person to paint for. It used to be Ellen, but I don't think she's had the best rap lately.
Yeah, my mum was saying that she's a bit
Yeah. Oh, look, you know what? They say and like
maybe one day you'll be on a show.
Who knows?
When she does those big surprises.
Yeah, I'll scare her.
You pop out with a big Ellen painting.
I reckon I'd be good at popping out of that box. I'm fitting it well anyway. So, but yeah, probably Ellen, I'd say.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself in the future? It was a bit of a broad question, but
no, that's all right. Future. I don't think murals have an expiry date, but I don't see myself painting murals when I'm like 50.
Yeah.
So I think, and yeah, as I said, like they don't have a big lifespan, or they've got an in-depth, like you don't really know. They're not a definite.
Yeah.
They're going to be there forever. So I think eventually I'll probably move back to canvases and hold some exhibitions and stuff like that.
Have you held exhibitions before?
Never.
Is that just a personal thing, or you don't?
Probably a bit scared, honestly. So I haven't, and you know what? I haven't had that urge. Like I'm sort of one of those people that.
Do you really need to?
But probably not at the moment. But it's not even that. Like I think when I want to do it, I'll do it. Like and I'll get it done straight away. But I just I've been thinking about it, but I haven't. I'm not one of those people to keep putting things off. But it hasn't. I don't think. I think everything happens for a reason. I don't think that time's come yet. I did say 2020. But all this COVID stuff went down. I don't think it's the right time to be like, hey, come buy my paintings.
Well, like you said, everything happens for a reason. So maybe
100%.
that was a bit of a sign to
100%.
slow it down.
So So and then I sort of want to tap into mental health and art therapy and how it can help people. Yeah. I've seen a fair few people tapping into that this year, which is amazing, and I think that's something that will grow. I think. Yeah, and public speaking. Yeah. Probably speaking to schools and parents of kids to make sure that they're doing something that they love doing and not just ticking those boxes to please everyone else. So I'm sure you could say,
high school if you want.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I think that mental health is a massive thing, and if you is it worth it? Is it worth your son or daughter being a lawyer for you to? Maybe they think that they missed out on those opportunities, so they sort of want to live through them. But is it worth it? If they're not going to be happy, it's probably not. So I think that needs to be I did go back to my high school and I spoke to the parents of the kids, and they were just because they could see what I have achieved, but sometimes they don't have that, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, but what if? So, and I didn't have that. So I took a bit of a, gamble on it.
So because at what age did you sort of turn it into if that ever was your intention, into a business sort of thing? So
I didn't take a leap as such. I sort more so it evolved. It was something that evolved. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, 18, 19, probably early 20s is when I started actually making a fair bit, enough money to sort of live on it. Yeah. 23, 24.
And you were still studying and all that during that?
Yeah, so I was working. I was studying full-time, working 2 jobs and painting. So
no excuse.
Load them up. No excuses. No excuses. Yeah. So
I think we'll wrap it up. It's been awesome. I was telling you before, it's surreal coming in here and even meeting you. I've been following you for years. Thank you for the chat. It's perfect. We'll leave. What's your Instagram? Danielle. Your Instagram?
Danielle's artwork. Yeah, just Danielle's artwork, and website is daniellesartwork.com as well.
Yeah, I'll leave it in the link in the description. Make sure to go buy some paintings or prints, whatever you want. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed, subscribe. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Catch you next week.
See ya.